Well, it looks like Tobey Maguire may have departed from Leonardo DiCaprio's friend group. And no, Marty Scorsese had nothing to do with it. Sources close to Tobey Maguire have said that Leo and Sean Penn have become best friends after making one battle after another together. And it has left Tobey Maguire feeling like he and Leo are no longer brothers, like the film he did with Jake Gyllenhaal in 2009. This is sad news for Pussy Posse heads, and Turtle Time has reached out to some of them, the members, for comment. We'll let you know when Kevin Connolly, David Blaine, or Ethan Suplee get back to us. Amy, what are your thoughts on this growing divide between these two legendary actors?
Don't forget Sarah Gilbert, the only female member of the Pussy Posse.
I just didn't want to include her because we haven't reached out for comment from Sarah Gilbert. She is notoriously hard to get a comment from when you're trying to get comments on news stuff. But yes, I do want to reach out to Sarah Gilbert, the one female member of the Pussy Posse.
This is horrible news. Leo's going down the wrong path.
It's so crazy. He goes, this article I read, it's amazing. It's a Radar Online. And it said that Leonardo DiCaprio and Sean Penn have been bonding over Italian food for the last 6 or 7 months. And Toby's been calling and calling and calling, and he can't get a hold of Leo to save his life. So
wow, he's in Malibu with Big Penn.
Yeah, and he's, say what you will about Sean Penn. I mean, I famously hate him and think his acting is horrible, but he has a magnanimous personality. Like he's definitely got that charm that he can turn on sort of like a big son, and I can imagine why Leo is kind of embracing being sort of, because he's sort of an elder statesman of in the acting arena to Leonardo DiCaprio. So I can see why he's sort of smitten by Mr. Penn.
Did you ever end up watching that Charlie Sheen doc? It's good fodder for just getting a little taste of Sean Penn's real personality, and it's nutty.
Really? What's he like in it, if you don't mind me asking?
He's so grizzled. He's like ripping cigs the entire time. It appears he rolls his own cigarettes. He just looks like he's like a dead man walking.
What is that? What does that mean?
The movie he was in.
He's in Dead Man Walking?
Yes.
What is that? I don't think
Oscar nominated about the nun. What's her name? Helen Prejean or whatever. It's like
Dead Man Walking.
Susan Sarandon plays a nun who goes to death row to talk to Sean Penn, who's on death row.
Oh,
I think he was nominated. I don't think he won for that.
Okay, I've never seen this before. I really like how he has a really cool look in this movie. I've never seen him look like this before.
Tim Robbins directed.
Tim Robbins? How have I never heard of this movie? Dead Man Walking.
It's pretty famous.
Susan Sarandon, nun. Sean Penn looking like this in it. Directed by Tim Robbins. Oh my God! Wow. Okay. So So he looks. Oh, he like you said. He's a dead man walking because he looks so like shit in that Charlie Sheen thing. Just like the movie. Wow, that's crazy. Do you remember when he was in that movie, the Terrence Malick film called, it was with the dinosaurs in it, and it was called, do you know the Terrence Malick film that everybody liked for a second? It was called, it was like about walking around.
Oh, Tree of Life.
You remember I don't
even remember him in that. I only remember Brad like looking at a tree or something.
He's just walking around in it. And I think after he said, like, I had no clue what Terry Malick wanted me to do. He had no clue what his plot in the movie was. He was just like in an office and he was just walking around like on the streets the entire movie. But anyway, cool. That's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. Anyway, just a little bit of a sort of a movie, discussion that I wanted to start out this week with. Amy, how have you been? We had you and I had a big week off from Turtle Time.
It's true. Yeah. We did a lot of in advance records so that we could take a full week off, which did feel nice. I was just walking around town, seeing movies, eating, chilling, drinking.
Damn, that's the life. I was too. I was drinking wine and eating food too.
I did want to tell you that you will love this. I saw Jay Kelly with my family, and my dad erupted in applause at the credits.
No way! Oh my God! What better selling point for this film than to hear that? That is really. He didn't get up on his feet.
No, but none of the women in the family agreed as hard as him, but he fucking loved it.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. So 10 out of 10, possibly from your dad.
Ron, check his Letterboxd. I'm sure it's a full
That's huge. I mean,
Yeah.
me and Ron haven't, you said that he didn't really love Blue Moon, which I think is a 10 out of 10, but I think that I have so much love for Noah Baumbach going in that if anybody was compelled to clap at the end of it, I'm going to enjoy it. Where did you fall on this Jake Kelly scale with you and your family?
I enjoyed it. It was a little eye roll. I think he's perhaps become out of touch.
No,
Dare I
Baumbach?
say?
Do you think it's George
Shocking.
Clooney in it? I was worried about George Clooney being a Noah Baumbach film.
No, it's more like it's just the plot. There's nothing to spoil really. It's just a star. It's kind of that old school thing of like almost like a Roman holiday or something where someone who's normally pent up and every move is watched, they try and break free and see the real world or whatever. Is that what happens in Sabrina?
Oh, that's a great question, and one of my favorite questions to answer. Harrison Ford and I think.
All right, you're going with the 95 version.
Oh! I'm sorry. Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer. But no, I've never seen either the original or that one. Is it sort of like that?
I mean, I think it's irrelevant. I might be wrong about that, but anyways, it's essentially pondering the plight of a movie star. And it feels a little bit like this is the story you want to tell in 2025. Like, I know the point of it is like he has everything, but he has nothing. But you're kind of like, boo-hoo, bitch.
I agree completely, and I'm sure that sounds right, and I totally can understand, but I sort of like plight of the rich people movies.
Me too, but it became a little much at a certain point.
I'm sort of hard to shake off the Noah Baumbach tree. I'm even a Meyerowitz stories guy. I'm like, I scream about Meyerowitz stories. Anybody who will listen.
It's also over 2 hours.
Oh my God, that's like
very unnecessary.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna buy Netflix. Well, if I get to a theater, oh God,
it's at the Lemley.
Yeah, I hate to be such a silly person, but I don't think I'll ever be able to make it to a movie theater again.
That's not true.
Well, I'm gonna try my hardest to see Jay Kelly in a theater and support Noah Baumbach's vision in a theatrical experience. But if I can't, then on December 5th, I'm gonna go. What's the Netflix noise? Ba-bum.
Ta-dum.
Ta-dum. And I'm getting that, well, just because I might have to. That might be my own. I know that's so horrible to say, but I know that this is appointment viewing for me, so I got to make time to see Jay Kelly. But I'm glad that Ron loved it, and I'm glad that you're okay on it. It sounds like a little indulgent, possibly.
Not. It's just he threw a lot of irons in the fire. There's a lot of ideas, and there's a lot of little things that I liked about it, but it felt like he needed an edit.
Damn. Oh my God. All right.
That's kind of how I felt about Eddington too.
Okay. All right. Shave a little bit off the top or
like focus.
Yeah.
I
love Adam Sandler too. So even if this was just a Noah Baumbach film without Adam Sandler in it, I would be compelled to watch it. But seeing Adam Sandler again, I love him in the Noah Baumbach universe after Meyerowitz stories. Okay. I can't wait. I don't like George Clooney that much. So that's probably the biggest drawback for me. I'm kind of like, because he's playing a movie star in it, and whatever. I haven't seen it. So what the hell am I talking about?
Yeah, you'll love it. I'm, despite my rage against Netflix, I have supported them in theaters twice this week. I also saw Wake Up Dead Man. I like to tell Sarandos that I want to see movies in theaters.
Yeah.
So I try and see them.
When he's looking at the BO numbers and he's like, holy shit, the Egyptian was on fire this week. How was that movie?
If you like those movies, you'll like it. I would say they're generally not for me. But I thought he stuck the landing by the end. I was like, sure, cute. Josh O'Connor is getting hotter by the second.
Damn.
I mostly saw it for him. So that was fun. But I just I don't think that those movies are what I'm in the market for. But if you are someone who likes those movies, I think you'll like this one.
All right. Great. All right. Well, I'm not going to see Wake Up Dead Man ever in my life, but I will see Jay Kelly. Absolutely. And I'm glad we got to talk about movies for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think that there is some stuff that sort of got on my radar over this big, long trip or Thanksgiving era that we were both on. And one of the biggest news stories that I thought was kind of shocking was this news about Steve McBee having to report to prison in a big van. They pulled up to his house and they didn't drag him out of his home. I think he went in pretty normally, just opened a door and went in. And Cole McBee posted this video of him and his daughter and their wife looking out the blinds, like peeking out like this, as Steve McBee reported to the prison van. And then Cole McBee said, "Mark my words, I will get revenge on the federal government."
Okay, but he actually did go to jail. I missed this.
He did, yeah, 24 months, apparently, only 2 years. And good behavior, we've seen what good behavior can do in the Bravo universe. I'm like a good behavior watcher. He's getting out in like 14 months. What'd
Wow,
you see?
I just went to Cole McBee's account. You're right. He is pissed. He goes, "I'll never forget what our justice system has done to our family. It's so wrong. And now my daughter won't see her grandpa for we don't know how long. We will not stop fighting for the truth. This is wrong. And real
Mhm.
Donald Trump will fix this when he sees the facts and not just a local trophy prosecution." Oh my God. Everyone's really just like knocking on Trump's door to get out of their petty crimes. Like,
Yeah.
you did crimes. Like, shut up.
And it's such a blatant, easy crime. It's like you did exactly what it sounds like you did. You said I didn't have enough soybeans, and you got money for underreporting it, and you defrauded so you can get money. It's like it seems so clear cut to me. Like
Yeah.
this isn't some persecution from the government, and you don't even want to see the story that disappeared, the one that I said.
Oh,
It
no.
was like it was like Cole McBee standing in a dark room, and he said he whispered, "I will get revenge." But this was funny, or not funny, but sad for Steve, but funny maybe if you have an ironic sense of humor. Steve McBee, over the weekend, he said Todd Chrisley has been burning a hole in his pocket on his cell phone by calling him multiple times. And he said Todd Chrisley gave over 1,000 tips of how to survive prison as a reality star while he's in there. And I just have to say, God, I wish to be a fly on the wall of those phone calls. I want to hear the 1,000 best tips
Yeah.
from Todd Chrisley to Steve McBee. I don't think we got to hear one of them. And so I almost would interview Todd Chrisley. I know it'd be despicable to some Turtle Time listeners, but I just want to hear what some of these top 50 rules are.
Ugh, I bet his commissary account's going to overflow. He's going to have so many snacks. I've watched a lot of prison videos about how they make their little in-cell stove so they can make cup
Yeah.
of noodles and stuff like that. I would love those tips.
Me too. I would love that too. And I think that Todd Chrisley would have a certain perspective that Steve McBee would enjoy of like, it wouldn't be the rules that we all know, which is like beat up the biggest person, so that you appear the coolest or whatever. You know what I mean? Or always tell on the
Join
other
a gang, etc.
or tell on the other inmates immediately so the warden knows that who the bad apples are in the prison.
Yeah,
but
become a narc immediately.
But Todd Chrisley, I think that premise to me of Todd Chrisley going to prison and sharing his prison experience, like I would watch a movie about that. You know what I mean? Because I guess because you remember the Martha Stewart documentary? That was the most interesting part to me, is what she learned from her sort of experience there and how she made friends with everybody and how she was doing like arts and crafts with all of the inmates. So just kind of what a wild world we live in where this could, take place.
Yeah, I was a little underwhelmed. I was hoping that I love Martha. I think she's fab. I was a little underwhelmed with her interest in helping women in prison after her stint. Like it felt like she cared briefly and then moved on.
Yeah. We don't know, though. What if it never makes the papers of how much she still donates? Like she bought him a big TV
wrong.
or something. But, you're right. Did she ever do prison diaries? Like, did she ever release a memoir about just her prison experience? I would even read that. And I don't really care about Martha Stewart that much.
Yeah, I don't think she did. I remember some of the women that they interviewed were like nuns who were doing some one battle after another shit that were there for a long time. And I was like, that's interesting. I would love to hear Martha's thoughts on more of that. She didn't talk about it too much in that doc. I don't think she wanted to.
Yeah. I don't need to delight in what would cause her misery, like if she's remembering that year or whatever. But whatever, we'll see. Steve McBee, be on your best behavior. I always say one of my sort of words of wisdom is if you can't commit the crime that you were accused of in jail, you're pretty much guaranteed to have good behavior. Like, what's he going to do? Underreport soybeans in prison or lie about how many books he got from the library? You
Yeah.
know,
He
so.
might get in a stink, you never know. But Mick, see you later.
And now let's conclude that segment about Steve McBee and move on to another sort of person that's going to be flapping their wings out of jail. Jen Shah was she's coming out like
Oh
December
my
10th
God.
or December
Yeah, it's
5th.
like
She might be.
next week or something.
No, I think it's like December 5th.
Oh
I
my
think
God.
it's December. Do I have to look things up?
I thought it was December 10th. I could be wrong though.
No, you're right. December 10th. Sorry, you're right. Next week, 10 days before my birthday, Jen Shaw is getting out. Early birthday present to me. But Andy Cohen on Radio Andy concluded, he said definitively, he said, put this period on it. Jen Shaw is never coming back to Salt Lake City. And he goes, I don't want her ever on another Bravo show again. There needs to be some sort of line for Bravo talent that you cannot cross. And for that, I kind of like to know Andy's line.
Yeah.
He's like, no matter how salacious and mind-blowing it would be to have her back on, he says no because of her actions.
He hates her. I feel like I don't know if he thought that she sullied the brand or partially because she lied for so long to his face or to the show, but he really got pissed.
He got so pissed. Well, it's just I think it's what she did. I mean, I think it's like it's when you think about what Teresa and Joe did. I mean, could you imagine Joe and Teresa filling out that tax forms and stuff? It's like it's there. We all have a different moral scale, of what really hurts us. And I think that Jen Shaw's was just so egregious, that it affected him. I asked the Bravo docket. I don't know if I ever said this, and I hope they don't care. But I asked the Bravo docket because I was like trying to
at BravoCon.
talk at BravoCon, and they said, I go, which was the worst Bravo celebrity, the biggest stinker of the bunch? And they said Jen Shaw by a mile. Nothing compares to what she did for the blatant and perpetual fraud she committed on the elderly. So,
but I wonder if you pitted her versus Tom Girardi. Like Erica always gets a pass because you can say she didn't know or whatever, but Tom Girardi himself,
well, his
crimes are pretty bad.
Yeah, of course. Oh my God, don't get me started.
Orphans and widows.
I think I've said my piece about Tom Girardi. What he did, it was horrible. But I don't, I don't think Erica Jane should suffer through that. I think Andy has made I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that compares to what Erica Jane's personal responsibility is in the Tom Girardi saga equates to Jen Shaw's, possibly.
Yeah, I think it's dropped down a peg because it's by association. But Tom Girardi himself may be the only one that is worse than Jen Shaw.
I forget if I've already said this. I think Tom Girardi was suffering from dementia for 10 years.
Okay.
Okay, let's end that. Another segment wrapped up. I already said this last week. I'm glad Jen Shaw will not be returning to the Bravo universe. I also have a line.
Her.
We don't need her. Salt Lake City is better without her. Okay, this is coming up very quickly. We found out what Todd Bradley and Bronwyn dressed up for Halloween 2 months ago. Todd Bradley was the old man from Up, and Bronwyn dressed up like the little boy from Up.
Oh, they did a little twist. You think it's going to be the old lady. I think Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively were the old couple from Up. People are still doing Up.
Up hit hard when it hit hard. It was when Wall-E came out and everybody was like, Pixar could do no wrong, and then they did Up, and people were like, whoa, Pixar still got it. And,
did you see these Zootopia 2 numbers?
They're insane. They
might
make
be
wicked
the highest rated or grossing animated movie of all time.
I can't wait. I mean, I haven't even seen Zootopia 1, despite, my affection for the idea of it. But I haven't seen it, and it blew Wicked for good out of the water. They said Elphaba, they had a Deadline had a good headline. It was something like Elphaba's on her broomstick flying away after seeing the Zootopia 2 box office returns. Are you going to see these Zootopia films?
No. Maybe I would watch one at home just out of curiosity, but it's really not my bag.
Right. I can't imagine. It's one of those movies where I can't imagine it being good. I don't care about like, haven't we done a universe populated by animals before? What's the big deal? It's because they have like police and government and stuff.
I was getting confused because there's a snake in it. I think it's Jason Bateman. And I was like, didn't Mark Maron play a snake in Bad Guys? And didn't that just Bad Guys 2's just come out?
Yeah, that's sort of like Zootopia. There could be bad guys in Zootopia who are like the bad animals in this world. But like we said, I got to trust some of the people who said Zootopia 2 blew the hair back on their head. So I'm definitely going to be in a Zootopia era someday, maybe in like
For
3
sure.
or 4 years.
You have more reason than me.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, congrats to Todd Bradley and Bronwyn. They said that they were the 2 biggest stars of the ball this 2 months ago for Halloween. Lastly, I think you're going to like this. On Southern Charm. Now let's go to Charleston for news. Someone made a TikTok about Salley being horrible on Southern Charm, a take I don't agree with at all. Thank God we have Salley. But they said she's like Taylor Ann Green, a pick me awful or something. And Taylor Ann Green commented on the TikTok and said, nothing could be further from the truth. Call me that when I have a boyfriend the entire time, a secret boyfriend for filming the entire time. And then that exploded all over Reality Tea and a bunch of these other sites saying that Salley had a secret boyfriend for this season 11, and Salley had to put the she had to sort of do that thing, kind of a PR move where she said, no, this is not true. I never had a boyfriend. And she was accused of cheating, too, with a doctor. Did you see any of that?
No. I saw she did a notes app or something about, and I was like, I cannot be reading this. I do not care.
Yeah, I read like 2 sentences of that. But she said, no, I don't have a boyfriend.
Okay.
That was the
and it's like,
extent of it.
Taylor, you're not on the payroll anymore.
Yeah.
Bye.
Also, Taylor said there's some reason in which I cannot say of why I'm not included on this season. I was like, I think we all saw the reason.
With our own eyes. We're good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But Salley, who knows? I mean, I hope you don't have a secret boyfriend. Why would you do that? Like,
yeah.
You like Austin. You like Craig. Craig's single. Austin's going to break up with Audrey. Why would you be in a real... I hope you're not lying to the audience, but...
I don't... Guess what? I don't care as long as... I'd be pissed if, when people have a secret boyfriend and that means that they're not participating because they're protecting themselves from cheating or protecting their partner from a storyline, that pisses me off. But if she's still going to have sex with people despite that fact, then I don't care.
Yeah, me neither. I don't care at all. And I think she kisses Austin. I keep seeing that clip, and I'm like, who's kissing? Austin and Salley. But I'm glad. If she pretends she's single and her heart is with another person, but maybe they're gonna break up too. I don't really mind. And I think Sally is good so far on Southern Charm. I'll just say it.
She's keeping it fired up, so that's fine by me. I also saw I think that Sierra and Vanita are pals. I've seen them hang out a few times, and Sierra came out in defense of Vanita, saying that we don't really get her side enough. And I'm like, I do wish that Vanita had better allies or something. Like, I feel like she needs someone to help bring her into the fold because she's more passive, and she doesn't want to get into the muck with Craig or whatever. And it's like, I don't know, I feel like she just keeps getting left in the lurch, which is a bit of a skill issue, like a reality star skill issue, but it kind of makes me feel bad.
Yeah, I agree, because I remember I was talking about, I loved, no one likes JT like me, but I really thought that Vanita showed a new side with her sort of being attracted to JT and that, like, she was a great participant in that drama that she had a personal stake in. I really genuinely felt like she was attracted to JT, and JT was pulling her along, or whatever the phrase is. So I liked that era. And so far, I'm only judging Vanita so far because I just don't really understand this Craig storyline that Sally is supposed to defer to you. But I still think I agree with you. I think that she only has sort of like Rodrigo now, and then Sally just left her. And so, unfortunately, she doesn't have good allies.
Right.
Yeah, but I liked her last season.
I'm going to try and listen to JT on Schwartz's podcast before we talk about Southern Charm, because I'm just very curious how that's going to go.
I'm excited too. I'm proud of Schwartz for keeping that podcast up.
I just saw today it was Katie Maloney revisited
Really?
Encore.
Oh, that means he's replaying that one?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Because Brittany Cartwright on her podcast, when reality hits, she does encores too, and it's like, I'm just but
Wow, he almost tricked me. I thought she was
Yeah.
on again.
Well, he's wonderful. Congrats to him for doing that. All right, that was it for me. Unless you wanted to talk about Whitney Levitt becoming Roxy Hart on Chicago.
Yeah, I think I teased that because us Dancing with the Stars viewers predicted this. She did a Chicago themed dance a few weeks, like a month ago or something, and we were
Wow.
like, obviously she's auditioning to do Chicago.
Was it bait for the
Yes.
Really?
And it worked.
Really? Oh my God.
I saw Ariana comment like, hell yeah, like this is gonna be great. And I'm like, do you think there's like a little part of her that's like, fucking God damn it, everyone just gets to do it now?
Well, so do you think, I mean, okay, so we had Erica Jane, we had Ariana, and then now you're saying Whitney Leavitt, who we don't really know. We don't know personally. Is it a step down for the Roxy Hart role?
I mean, Pamela Anderson has done it. Lisa Rinna has done it. I found out recently that Paige Davis from Trading Spaces has done it.
Wow.
So it really runs the gambit. Models have done it. I never held it in too much esteem, but this is only 2 years later or 2 seasons later, a different Dancing with the Stars person is doing it. So now it just feels like it's sort of a revolving door.
Now people are going to know that they can do Chicago bait all the time. Like you and I will be starting to sing Chicago numbers for no reason. Not that we ever have a chance to both be Roxy Hart, but I'm just saying this is going to now start. People from all over reality television are going to start singing Roxy Hart's famous song from Chicago to try to get on the radar.
You could do Mr. Cellophane, or you could be Mr. Billy Flynn, Razzle Dazzle.
Mr. Billy Flynn, Razzle Dazzle himself from Chicago. Oh my God, I would love to be that actor. Do they do stunt casting with any of the other roles, or are those more? Really?
I've seen Mama Morton stunt casting. I think they've done like celebrity Billy Flynn's. But I think Roxy's the main one, and maybe it's the most versatile. Like the songs aren't that hard. So like if you're a dancer, they'll make your dancing more heavy and the singing a little lighter, depending on your skill set. So Whitney, I'm happy for her.
Me too.
I cared enough about Dancing with the Stars that I watched her on Call Her Daddy do her freestyle dance after the fact, which was kind of crazy because this was unprecedented. She didn't make it to the finals, but they already had an idea of what they wanted to do. It was sort of a Folie à Deux themed dance, and Call Her Daddy had her on, fully sanctioned by ABC, and they recorded. She got to do her finale number just for YouTube.
Wow. Oh my God. That's cool. Yeah. Megan gave me a little, she told me a little bit about that. She said that was a good move on Call Her Daddy's part to let her do that. Oh my God. They should have, you don't have to comment on this, but they should have done that for Hilaria Baldwin just so we could see her next 6 on Call Her Daddy. You know what I mean?
On the finale, they have the eliminated people come back, and I was like, she's worse than I remembered.
Really?
She's really so bad.
At dancing or being a human?
Both.
I was going to say I thought I saw Chicago on Broadway when I was taken to New York City a couple times when I was 14, but it was Cabaret I got to see on Broadway.
Interesting. Do you know who you saw in it?
It would have to be Cabaret around 2002 or 2001. So whoever the stars were back then, I didn't really know what the hell, I had never been to Broadway before. It was kind of like a big, shocking, wonderful, like experience for me, but I didn't know anything about actors or what was going on. John Stamos, possibly?
Oh, wow.
John Stamos.
As
Jane
the MC?
Yeah, Hal Linden. Polly Bergen, quite possibly. This rings a bell. Yes, quite possibly the 2002 cast.
Wow.
Anyway, well, great. You know what? I don't have any more news in the docket. What about you?
No, I think that was it. We were going to touch on Potomac very shortly. It does not warrant a full recap, I don't think. We just really wanted to touch on this Stacey takedown and that we as Turtle Time are fed up. I don't know what these women are worried about. Giselle is being cruel. Ashley won't quit. Wendy is the only one that's actually coming to her rescue, which I'm appreciating greatly.
Me too.
It's a good look for her, I think.
It really helps. It's awesome. There's a part where like Kay was yelling at Stacey and then Wendy was dancing in front of Kay to like block her away so like her rage couldn't get through to Stacey or past Stacey. I was like, this is so cool. And like, to be fully frank, Wendy is the only one that should be aggrieved by anything that Stacey has done. And she
Right.
has given her a pass for the cannabis company, and for doing whatever it is that has been brought up this season. But Giselle and Ashley just will not give up on this anti-Stacey tirade. It's gotten ridiculous. It's really hindered my enjoyment of the show. And I was wondering is it just because we love Stacey, so it's getting really annoying? Or would any takedown seasons where 95% of the cast is against one person, they must all be boring like this, no matter how you feel, even if it's the worst monster like Lisa Rinna or something. Giselle says, you can't trust Stacey around husbands or children. And then when Stacey goes, Giselle, I love you very much. Even though you've been the worst person in the world to me, congrats on 10 million downloads. I am going to leave this party because I've been treated like absolute shit. And she goes to the elevator, very, very gracious exit.
Yeah.
And Stacey goes, Giselle goes to the elevator and starts pushing the button, goes, get the hell out of here now. If you're leaving, then hurry up as you leave.
She's like, bye. And I'm like, she tried to like quietly leave, like fuck off.
You have to like you have to hate her more because she's leaving your party a half an hour early because she was treated like shit. Like, I'm on another planet watching how they're treating Stacey. I can't get over it. At one point, they say that the Stacey hating cast has to say, we are all trauma bonding over the horrors that Stacey has committed to us. And I was like, what happened? What are you talking about? What is it? Do you remember the JT friendship contract that we learned about in episode 1? That is not talked about for 1 second anymore.
Right.
Like, that was a dud. Monique was a dud. Monique caring about Chris. And then they throw another Chris dud here where Chris has to deny it. Emphatically say, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And they even bring it up to Monique in person with Stacey. She says, I don't care. I just don't trust Chris. So I would be worried about him, but I don't give a shit about this Chris stuff.
I know. When they called him, he's like, I don't even know what you guys are talking about. And then they force Monique, they force the scene at the end. That's it's Kay, it's Ashley, it's Monique, it's Wendy, it's Stacey. And Monique is like, I'll talk about whatever, but like, I would be more concerned about what Chris is up to. I think he's dragging you into his mess. And so I'm like, do we need to hear more? Like, she literally trusts this new person more than her ex-husband. She is not interested in participating in this, does not care. And then Stacey showed her texts with him where it sounded like he was persistent in pursuing her. He complimented her Potomac Lifestyle magazine cover. It was giving Lisa Vanderpump Beverly Hills Lifestyle magazine or whatever it was called. And she didn't respond because she was like, this is all too much for me. And he goes, a thank you would be appropriate. I was like, like I'd be like, block.
Yeah, I know. I'd be like, oh God, three messages unresponded to. Like, you got to stop talking after that. Yeah, Ashley says they're fake or whatever. It's like, there's nothing that Stacey can do. Even after Chris denies it on the phone, on speakerphone with Charisse, Giselle's like, there's nothing in the world that could convince me that Stacey didn't call Monique. It's like, nothing in the world? Really? We're at the point where it's just absolutely concrete in your mind that Stacey is this demon behind the scenes. It's unfathomable to me how Stacey's being treated. Like you said, thank God for Wendy and that she has been sort of an ally to Stacey, despite what Stacey seemingly did to her in trying to be kind of a copycat or whatever. And then I got to say, Kay. I mean, I've really enjoyed Kay last season. I really did.
Yeah.
And then now to have her, the most emphatic one that thinks Stacey is also evil. it's hard to come to terms with this turn for Kay against Stacey, to imagine why she hates her so much to where she has to leave scenes, but then she went to a scene that I don't think her and Ashley were actually invited to. They just wanted to be a part of a confrontation between Monique. It's just a rough season no matter what. And then the fact that they've just decided to double down on Stacey with no real evidence towards her makes it almost unbearable.
Yeah, it's lame. And none of the things they're accusing her of are interesting enough to warrant, if you're going to do something like this, it better be something really good.
Yeah, it's like you almost wish Stacey was calculating an evil behind the scenes to justify this wrath. I mean, I don't know what other people feel like. I mean, I'm sure there's Stacey people who are like, she lied or something, but does anything warrant this? Giselle pushing the elevator down button to push her into it so she could leave quicker.
Yeah, and then all Kay has is that she still has like a tumultuous question mark relationship with this guy Greg, who I do not care about at all. So I'm like, she's just clinging on for dear life, I think, to this storyline. And we get in the preview for next time, we get the Wendy dramas coming in hot. And then we have the Andy Grand Dame sit down to look forward to. So those are at least big ticket items to keep us going. But I mean, still, I generally do very much enjoy this show. But we need to move on from this.
I do too. Everyone is funny and fun, and it's just a matter of what conflict I think they're bringing to the table that is getting annoying. But there are moments where Ashley Darby is playing with her boys on the piano, and they're playing the beat to Healing and Thriving, and I'm like, I love this show. I love that song, Healing and Thriving. There's moments that are so fun, but we've got 50 or 60% of the crux of this show is sort of warped. So I think that there's a chance, like you just said, those moments, those highlights, Potomac could rear its head and get much better, but this was a particularly bad episode. I liked Timo and Stacey eating pizza with Arabella. I thought that was sweet.
Yeah. I love any German moments. I saw some QVC. I get tons of Stacey QVC clips now just as part of my regular algorithm. And there was one where she was like, I think it was like a butterfly. It was multiple things for sale that had different creatures on them. And she kept being like, I don't remember how to even say that because I always say it in German. And she was just saying them all in German. I'm like, Stacey, her German core I love that.
That is me too. Oh my God, I love it so much. I've since I realized what QVC is, like I really wish you and I could be hosts for a couple days.
It's hard.
Yeah, but I got it in me. If you show me a vest with a big like fuzzy vest or something, I could talk about it for about 2 hours or an hour.
Well, you have a TikTok. Let's go.
All right, this is the real meat of Turtle Time. This is our bread and butter. This is like in Sopranos they had the garbage industry rely on, and then they had to turn to a new sort of industry. This is our bread and butter. It's called Vanderpump Rules, and there's a new, I don't know if people have heard of this. There's a new iteration of Vanderpump Rules. They call it season 12, and it has an entirely new cast. And I think it's time for you and I to dissect the shit out of this thing. How about that?
I'm kind of in denial that this is happening, that this is real, and this is now something we're going to be doing on a weekly basis, potentially.
Yeah. It's a little unceremonious,
Right.
that this is how it's being ushered in. And despite enjoyment, despite some enjoyment, a part of me was just like, did this have to exist? Like this was like, like there was lightning in a bottle, and Lisa's like, I got magic again. You have to get the cameras in here. And at a certain point I was like, did this justify its existence?
Right.
But having said that, overall thoughts just up front before we dive deep. I think this is a good cast.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a good cast. I really don't think that there is one dud. Maybe Kim, because we don't know her very well, and they kind of talk about her like she's a dud, but I don't know her enough. But like, I like Venus. I like Marcus. I like Natalie. Natalie is. I like. I like. Who are the two eyebrow boys?
Oh, that's
Chris and Jason.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Shane Davis. Audrey, so far getting a little.
We're just saying names.
No, but I'm just saying. I'm like you. Normally, I would probably be picking out the duds. I've got a good dud finder on me. I'd be like, we got a couple. This is a decent cast. They're funny enough, but then my drawback to it was, is this friend group fun and entertaining enough as a group
Mm-hmm.
to propel us like Vanderpump Rules did? There was a part at the Belmont where they were just going like, we are really good friends to friendship. What's it like being friends with each other? And I was like, this is not what a group of friends says. They just have fun and talk.
Did you hear the Belmont might be closing?
Why?
I saw that headline.
Really, the Belmont?
Yeah,
that
what
I've
are they going to
never been
do?
to? That would be bad for everyone because Stassi says films there. Vanderpump did, and now the new generation is going there. We got to go to the Belmont before it closes.
I know.
Will you promise me that we
Yeah.
can do that?
I'll go. I think I saw it on TikTok maybe, and all the comments were like, "Where will the cast of Vanderpump Rules go?"
Oh yeah. Well, we really do have to go because I've never been for 1 second. I want to go. I want to go to that. And then I just wanted to say that in addition to it not being like maybe an established friend group that has a lot of camaraderie and sparks flying like our original cast, we only got to see the first half of this at BravoCon, and
Mhm.
it was meeting everyone. You got the aesthetics of the premiere, and they did end with an explosive fight. But then the second half, when it's just like them going over the Kim and Marcus stuff, I was like, oh, this is not very entertaining at all. This might be one of the most boring storylines that you'd ever hear on the original Vanderpump Rules. So it was
Mhm.
sort of, I don't know, it got worse for me when they
Mhm.
started to try to talk about what the conflict is going to arise from them as a group. Just, in terms of the premiere, what they brought to
Right.
the table.
Yeah, I don't know why. So I watched it late last night. I had seen some of it at BravoCon, but obviously that was not an unnatural environment. So I kind of just scrapped what I had seen.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was watching Potomac earlier in the night and taking notes, I was like, I kept pausing it. I was like, I'll watch 10 minutes here. I'll like go get a drink, come back. Like, I was like, it was a real chore to get through it. And then for Vanderpump, I was like, all right, I have to watch this before bed. I'm going to put it on. And I kept like being like, you can pause it after this and go do the thing you're going to do. And I was like, I just watched the whole thing. And I was like, that has to be worth something, that I was like, wanted to see what happened next.
Absolutely. And I want to hear those moments that made you perk your head like that, because maybe I was being miserable and horrible and mean. But I think saying that this cast is good
Mhm.
is the best testament to what this can be, because if you've got a good cast, they can make magic. If this was half duds, half good, we'd be in real trouble. So let's go through it and parse this thing. We did see it at BravoCon, the first half. So
Yeah.
I wasn't as shocked this time, but it does start out with Lisa saying, a kind of a callback for us, new era. She says, I used to say that Sir was a place where you'd bring your mistress so that you couldn't be caught. If you wanted to cheat, you'd go here. But now this is where what? You find your girlfriend? You find your wife?
Your mistress.
This is where you find your mistress?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
She said, I used to say, sir's where you take your mistress. Now it's where you'd find her.
Oh.
So, like, what does that mean? Like, skanks go there?
Yeah, I was kind of like, oh, I didn't even, yeah, whoops. It was so iconic, I kind of forgot. It was, yeah, okay. So, no, now you can find him there.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I was like, sure. And then she immediately, of course, is checking on tables. You're immediately reminded that she's like, oh, I'm not letting it get away from me this time. You will be in my restaurant. We will be talking about goat cheese balls. We will be talking about cocktails.
Sort of defiant in a way. Like you thought you wouldn't be talking about this in Vanderpump Rules. No, it's the first thing. What's the special? What did you order? Do you need a top off on your drink? She's really doing the work of a restaurateur here.
She runs into the kitchen. She's like, table G2 needs appetizers ASAP. Come on, move it.
Totally. Move it. And her worst nightmare, she sees a bunch of these drinks lined up. At some point, there's like 50 drinks that need to go out from Marcus or whatever,
Yeah.
And so it's her worst nightmare. And I want to say something up front. I know we're going to get to it, but we find out that Sir is sort of on the downward spiral, circling the drain. And maybe not being flushed down the toilet, but she says it's like a boneyard / graveyard in West Hollywood for these dying
Yeah. It's kind of
restaurants.
sad. Natalie like cries at one point saying how hard it's been, and post-COVID, West Hollywood never totally came back. She had to close Pump. She doesn't want to have to close Sir. I was kind of almost surprised that she was willing to. She's been saying that publicly for a long time, but I was kind of surprised that it did add to the drama, because you're like, yeah, like you guys can't be fucking around in the back room. We've got a business to run.
And it's almost like the pressure's on you to become celebrity, so people want to flock back here again and get a cocktail made by Chris and Jason, or
Right.
you know what I mean? It's like we need Sir now to become what it was for
Now
a new
more
generation.
than ever.
Yeah, and then to add insult to injury, you got Marcus slugging free sangria in the back, taking a big barrel to his lips and chugging it with Venus. It's like the profits on that thing. You know what I'm talking about?
The watered down ass
that's like
sangria.
$700 in that big white industrial bucket in the fridge.
It's priceless. It is kind of funny revisiting this concept now that I have to assume, maybe I'm over exaggerating. I know we live in a bubble and we've gone to Sir probably 30 times. And most local Vanderpump or Bravo fans have been at some point. They've had at this point over 10 years to go. So it's funny now imagining viewers watching it knowing how shitty the restaurant is, you know?
Yes.
Because when it first started, you were willing to believe that it was sexy, that it was a hot spot, that it was Hollywood, that it was something to
where you
covet.
would find your mistress.
Right.
Too.
But everyone knows, I think, at this point, even the most naive of fans knows that it's like a shitty restaurant.
I was really dismayed. I think I told you before. I go, oh my God, this food is so bad. Like it's kind of shocking. You're like, this is a restaurant, which the primary goal is to serve food to people. And it's you're right. Now everyone knows the cat is out of the bag. You know, you're watching this slop be fed and you're like, oh my God, could you imagine how bad that tastes? But we go there for the allure of possibly seeing this hot, naughty cast.
Yeah.
I
agree with you. Every person they introduced, I was like, honestly, like I'm kind of down. I think that I'm going to be able to separate the expectation of its legacy from whatever this is and just consider it a Southern hospitality, a whatever you want, like a under 42s thing that I think I can just get away from it. Because I think it's good that there's no one that's still on it, you know, like Lisa aside. If there was even a couple stragglers, I'd be like, no, I need to have clarity here and move on.
I think you're exactly right. It would be a little disheartening to see Sheena being like, I'm the older generation, not that she's old, but like teaching you new rascals how to run a business. And I'll take this. I would feel like that was the death knell of Vanderpump Rules in a way. So I agree. It's kind of like, just think about this as something new. Maybe we just call it New Shift or whatever the subtitle of this thing is. But let's talk about the cast because I think it's important. We're just starting this out. We don't need to go like in order by scene. We've got Chris and Jason. They're like a duo. They're the two. They kind of gave me a little bit of a thrill because I was like, well, maybe they're a little boring, but I also was like, these are two guys that want to make it in Hollywood. And that's sort of, we went so far past the ambitions of being an actor on Vanderpump Rules once they became established Bravo celebrities. But it was interesting to hear two cast members who moved to LA to really try to make it. And they're like writing scripts. I would love to get a peek at one of the scripts that these boys have made together. And then they were kind of referencing movies. Like they're like, do you want to do the graduate scene and be Miss Robinson with me, you know, as my scene partner? And so that was a little bit fun. And they also have a history as wrestler.
They're half cousins
and wrestler boys. And it was even, Jason has a twin. And when they all go out, they look like three
identical strangers.
Three identical strangers. So they were okay.
They were kind of reminding me, you'll see when you see Jay Kelly, they get into his 20s acting, like his acting classes and his pursuit of fame with his fellow friend. And I was like, this is giving young Jay Kelly. But
that is awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. They're like, we're gonna be the next Ben and Matt, and then they do like a horrible Goodwill Hunting impression. They're like the dumb actors who have the most basic knowledge of Hollywood imaginable. Like they probably have, whatever those we call the college, the dorm posters. They have like Boondock Saints and
Fair and Lovely in
whatever.
Las Vegas.
Yeah, like the top 5 classic himbo, but into movies. I put that
Rules
in quotes.
Of attraction. No, yeah, totally, a little bit like, but at least for me, there are a lot of actors who just don't have any knowledge of any movies at all who go into acting just to become famous. Like it's just an avenue to get famous. So I like that they even had a little brush of knowing what The Graduate was. And the fact
That's
that
giving him a lot of credit. But it's like the most famous movie ever made.
But the fact that they typed out a script, and I got to see this thing. But like
Again,
I
a
give
low
them,
bar.
I don't know. It's more than a lot of people have done. It's a lot of people have not even made.
Peter or Sandoval.
Has Sandoval ever written a script?
I bet he has.
I would love to see that. I would love to see if he had ever written a script for more than 20 pages. Not saying anything about him. I just think that people lack ambition to actually write a script. So anyway, enough about those two. I liked them fine enough. The real sparks of joy are from Natalie and Marcus. These are Jax and Stassi, although they're not direct parallels in any way. Marcus is funny as hell. He's got the relationship that is the one to watch. Tumultuous, toxic. It's with Kim. And then there's Natalie, who is our Stassi. I'm not comparing it to be blasphemous. I'm just saying the archetypes that I think they're sort of following. And Natalie is a vibrant star.
Yeah.
No,
I think,
is quotes.
There, wait, who, I need like a little.
I can keep going. I know most of them. Venus. I think I know all the heavy hitters. Audrey, Venus, Marcus, Natalie. I think you might have mentioned someone named Curtis.
I think I confused Curtis and Marcus.
Yeah.
And I think I just started in my notes randomly calling him Curtis instead of Marcus, and I got confused.
Yeah, it's okay. This is the new iteration of Vanderpump Rules. We're not going to know these people, and he maybe he likes to be called Curtis. We'll just say Marcus / Curtis. But Marcus has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Him and Kim, I don't think that they're a good couple. They're not like Stassi and Jax because they're not fun to watch. They're a boring couple, and I don't care about them at all. And it sounds like we're going to be out of them being a couple within an episode or two, just like Stassi and Jax.
Right.
But Natalie and Marcus have chemistry. Even if they're not attracted to each other, they're just both, you can tell they're vibrant, funny people. And then Audrey is sort of like, you don't really know her too well, but she gets some funny sort of one-liners in. I liked her horror movie screaming introduction, and she does a good horror movie scream.
Yeah, she seems like a good friend of. She's kind of just a comic relief. Marcus also is self-deprecating when he's talking about Shane Davis, this himbo guy. He's like, I'm the guy, he was bragging about how much he gets booked. And then Marcus was like, I'm the bargain basement model when someone just needs someone last minute for $500. I'm that guy.
Some self-awareness there. And he makes some funny confessional jokes talking about how Demi, we didn't talk about Demi. She's pretty good.
Assistant
I think Demi's
manager.
Yeah, Demi's been there for 8 years. I like that. Tried and true, Sir Spirit. Like, you've been there. You tried to be on the original Vanderpump Rules, I'm sure. And then you finally got your showcase now. I like that there is actual employees here, because that's supposed to be the new premise of this. Demi was good, too. And he makes a reference to saying Demi is like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. That she's always been there. I was like, well, Marcus, you got me. I'm listening to you if you ever reference The Shining. Oh, and then we already talked about this a lot, but Chris does a De Niro. And he does, he goes, I won't do De Niro, but he goes, these shoes. Do you do De Niro?
I'm not doing De Niro.
But I kind of wondered, because I let that just wash over me, and I was like, it's so fun that he's doing a De Niro impression, but he goes, these shoes, these shoes. And I was like, what movie is he talking about where De Niro talks about his shoes? So I looked it up, because I was like, is there a movie where De Niro really likes his shoes? And he's doing Paul Rudd's impression of De Niro in Knocked Up. Not even
That's even worse.
I know. I was like, what the hell?
You tried to give him credit for 1 second, and it turns out it was the lamest version.
You look it up, everybody. Knocked Up. Wait, Yeah, knocked up Paul Rudd De Niro impression. That's where he got these
Was
shoes.
it like Vegas scene?
Yeah, it's when they're all no, they go on a double date together or something with
Oh,
Katherine Heigl, and they're bonding because Paul Rudd and Seth Rogen have sort of an affinity for each other.
Right.
But anyway, it was kind of funny to me that was the reference he had to pull. Famously, I looked this up, and De Niro has never talked about his shoes once in any of his movies. His entire filmography, they've never pointed down to his shoes, and he's never referenced what his shoes look like once.
Wow, good to know.
Yeah, I thought so too. So we talked about all the cast members, right? We're done now.
Yeah, I think
Venus.
Venus is fun. Actually seems like he's friends with everyone. I think Venus is the one that I saw when I went to do a drive-by of, I think when I went to film a TikTok in Sir Alley, I saw Venus walk by.
Whoa. Oh my God, that is awesome. I mean, a part of me was like, if I went to Sir, which, maybe you and I will one day again, someday, if we get really hungry, I was like, hey, if I saw Marcus there, I'd be like, hey, that's kind of interesting. You know what I mean? Like, I actually was like, you already kind of delivered on the promise where it would be notable to see Demi working right now. I'd be like, I know you sort of, from watching you.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it is delivering on the promise that they actually work there, that they don't have very much money. We get Natalie is just like old times recording music
yes.
in some shithole apartment studio with some weird guys, and I was like, well, that's a classic.
That's a classic. I go, I was glad. I think that at least she had been doing that. Like, this was a passion, I think, for a long time, and she didn't just pick this up for the premiere. But that is like, we were watching Sheena's music career, I think, within 3 episodes of Vanderpump Rules too,
Yeah.
So there's sort of a comparison there. And her song was decent. It was called, I'm a Passenger. Yeah. and it was about having sex. From meeting a guy on Hinge, and I had The Passenger already stuck in my head after watching it only once.
Yeah, they didn't do her too dirty. I'm curious to hear the final output, but also her she kind of has the most promise as far as causing a stink. We have a whole segment where her ex is some guy, Paulo, who works at the restaurant that they blur his face. He's apparently in his 50s. Mm-hmm. She's in her 20s. And they have security cam footage of her coming in, raging about him, blocking her or something. She came into the bar with her dad.
Yeah. She goes, Dad, hold on one second. I want to yell at Paulo. And yell at Demi. And they have the footage. This always, you said she created a big stink, and this sort of doesn't pass the smell test for me of, I don't really like when they have such huge inciting incidents right before filming. We're going through that with season 8 of Vanderpump Rules on Patreon, where they're like, yeah, just before we started filming, we hooked up or we did this one thing. I was a little bummed that they thought they needed Natalie to have this like huge moment. But if it's true and it really happened and she was drunk with her dad at the bar and she was fighting, then that is great that she has these sort of like chaotic moments for the show. And then they don't even get into this. This was kind of promising for Demi, that Paolo was Demi's ex. Demi was dating Paolo. And then Natalie sort of but like she didn't give a shit about their relationship and immediately started dating Paolo. And Demi, contrary to what you think the ethos of reality television would be of making a big deal of it, she doesn't really care. And she didn't let it affect her relationship with Natalie very much, which I liked.
Right. Yeah, they make up. Also, we got, after that incident with the security cam, we get a classic Lisa Lisa and James style moment where she's like, I'll give you another chance because you've worked here for so long, but I'm keeping an eye on you.
It's really funny that Lisa's her dream among all dreams, is to just have a show where she does the same 8 scenes that she's done for 11 years on Vanderpump Rules. Yeah. Chastise people for drinking, hold staff meetings, talk with upper management about what's going on with the cast, and holding a job over people's head when they do wrong by her. Yeah. That's all she wants to do.
I know.
We've seen these scenes as we recap Vanderpump Rules 100 times for the first 5 seasons of Vanderpump Rules, over and over again, and she couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah, I did get a little kick out of the all hands meeting. She kicks Marcus out at one point, and the cameras follow him onto the streets. And I'm like, this is so old timey. I'm kind of happy with it.
Yeah. Well, we got to talk about. Okay, so I think we did a good job of talking about what happens for the first half of this episode. We didn't talk about Shane Davis, but I really do like you said, how Marcus talks about Shane Davis in a way that's like respectful, that he's like elusive, and they've been friends for a really long time. He's got some relationship drama where he flirted with Natalie once. They have a little bit of chemistry. I thought that was sweet, especially that there are friendship bonds here that connect the group. It's not just like a cast that came out of nowhere. So they have a scene together, and then it culminates after we get to know all of them. Oh, we didn't say that Marcus and Venus took one shot and did that big chug of sangria, and then they go to the Belmont, and then the first fight kind of happens. And this is when I would say misgivings about Vanderpump Rules could you could have them by seeing what they're sort of arguing about. And it's about Marcus thinking that Natalie, he's kind of overplaying his friendship with Natalie. Natalie might be overplaying her friendship with Marcus, sort of to sort of spurn Kim into having a problem with it. And it's not a very good fight to me. It wasn't very entertaining. Marcus is very theatrical at a certain point when he's explaining to Venus like the stakes of the argument. They like cut to a full scene between them, like a 2-shot perfectly shot scene where he goes, "Let me tell you the stakes here. If I agree with Natalie right now and defend her, do you know what hell will be waiting for me at my home?" And I was like, "Ooh, God." That was rough stuff. But they do have a very funny sort of Easter egg when you're watching the fight. That guy with a beret and a mustache is just watching them, and they linger on him for 10 seconds. That's a very funny moment.
That got a huge laugh at BravoCon. It was kind of like the mime on Potomac.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it felt like at least they were actually drunk, and Kim was crying unnecessarily. And then when he goes on to recap that they stayed up all night, that she was watching his dot when he left her apartment, that she showed up at his apartment, I was like, they are volatile in a seemingly real way.
Yeah, I guess so. But for me, like on the scale of volatile relationships, like that was like a 2 out of 10. Like I couldn't even be Shane Davis in that scene, getting really excited to hear the story. It was so boring. Like I've been in 10 times more toxic, horrible relationships where that would be like the best night of my life.
Wow.
So when he was retelling it, I was like, this doesn't have the hallmarks of, and plus it's show don't tell. Why didn't you why weren't you filming them drunkenly rolling through after the Belmont, go to their apartment and have this knockout drag out fight? And then I was like, okay, yeah, she showed up to your house afterwards because you weren't answering her phone calls. I get I'm being a little too harsh on it, but it was just like I wasn't that like inspired by what the future holds with that kind of scene. But I mean, it doesn't. I think that it doesn't matter that the first big plot device fizzles, because there could be a lot more coming, especially if like Marcus and Kim, break up this season.
True. Also, I wanted to point out that when Natalie, as in the manager or the owner of the restaurant, tells Lisa, she's very upset about them drinking sangria, which I'm like, damn, like people used to do way worse than that. But
well, she's crying.
Yeah, she's like, it's not respectful. We've been struggling so much. And Lisa goes, it's 2025, not 2013. We have HR now. We got to crack down on this sort of thing. And I'm like, I love it. She's like, yeah, I'm not getting taken down over some bullshit. Like, I have HR now.
Yeah, and that was an Easter egg for us. My ear perked up as of someone who knows what Vanderpump Rules is. I said 2013 is when the original Vanderpump Rules started, so that's kind of a funny little Easter egg for us. I liked when Lisa went to Natalie, Guillermo's Natalie, and she goes, "C'est va?" And Natalie goes, "C'est va?" And she goes, "It's that bad?" And that's when Natalie says, "I was trying to find something on the cameras to see that I lost something, and I saw Marcus hold a big jug of sangria over his head and start pouring it all over himself and Venus to chug as much of it as they could." And that was just so disturbing to her, which is funny to think about all the moments where people were just drunk as hell.
Yeah.
For the entire...
Literally.
Like Jax was just taking shots nonstop whenever he wanted at Vanderpump Rules.
They all were. Yeah. And then also, when you were talking about the half cousin boys, they're the ones that live by the beach. I couldn't tell exactly where they were. Was it Manhattan Beach? I couldn't tell if it was South Bay or like more north, but I'm like, damn, that's a fucking commute. And they reveal that one of their first money-making endeavors that got them into acting was stripping.
Yeah, I liked that. I liked when they were like, old buddy, let me tell you the tale of us. And it's like, I know all these stories, but thank you for telling me these things that we have done. But they're like, whenever I go back to New Jersey, I say, get me the hell out of Jersey. You know, like that kind of is inspirational. It had a little bit of a, you know, like a real life entourage, you know, two boys trying to make good on their Hollywood dreams. And they kind of just say, look at us, you know, we're models. But we're going to be the next Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. And he goes, how do you like that big bunch of apples? And he goes, just like what Matt Damon said.
Yeah, there's something sort of vintage about them, like untouched by time. One of them is when they go to the all hands. The other one is at an acting class. I'm like, we're just doing the same old stuff everybody's been doing for 50 years, going to acting class, going to auditions.
Learning the Meisner technique, Stella Adler School of Acting.
Take your pick.
One of those two schools of acting philosophy. It would be so cool if Jason or Chris made it big. Like they got in like Road Trip 2 or something, and they were like, I'm huge now, and I'll give some of my effort to Vanderpump Rules, and you can watch me be a bartender as long as you can, but I'm also a big actor now, not just a Bravo celebrity. Could you imagine if we saw that?
Yeah, I am kind of obsessed with that, which is part of what I did like about Jay Kelly, is that it's sort of about the fickle nature of like stardom. Like there's something that happens where it's like someone gets an audition that like it should have been someone else, but whatever. And I'm like, they do that in This Is 40 or Funny People, where Leslie Mann is like, I was supposed to be in The Mask. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I'm obsessed with like, who was the person that almost got Friends? You know, like how different their life would have been, or like it's always just like a hair different, and you could be like worth $100 million.
Talk about a perfect cast, Friends, 6 for 6. I mean, you can't replace one of those, and that's a wonderful cast. If it was a hair different, could you imagine? It's like when they got that guy on what's that How I Met Your Mother, and like the lead is like boring and nobody likes him. It's like, could you imagine if like they just got David Schwimmer wrong and it was just this like bland, boring guy?
I'm kind of surprised. I always think about like Joey, like he never did anything else.
Well, they're typecast, and also though they don't need to do. You know, he tried. I
know,
but he had. You know, they all. You know, they made hundreds of millions of dollars.
But like, I bet there are other versions that would have worked.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm not as much of a Friends head as you, but
I'm
like, swap them out. I don't care.
Oh, I think if there's any Friends heads, I think that I just made a siren call to you all. You know, you can't replace Joey. He's perfect. The chemistry, one of them being off, just exactly like you said with Jay Kelly, one of them being off would have ruined Friends. It would have lasted one season. That's a perfect. It's a perfect cast. But you're right. I love that. And Funny People also, Seth Rogen has to betray his friend because it turns out like, I think Adam Sandler wanted Aziz to write jokes for him, and Seth Rogen was the one who picked up the phone and said, "Oh, you liked my set? I'll write jokes for you." Like he had to do a calculating kind of stinker move to get that first break in the entertainment industry. But we'll see about these Chris and Jason boys. And then lastly, Lisa. I've never seen her like this. She's like Godzilla arriving in New York City for the first time, wanting to wreak havoc. She goes, "I've called a meeting now for you all, and let's get something straight. Natalie's over there crying," and they point to Natalie, and Natalie's in tears, sobbing. The other Natalie,
she works her ass off. Sir, is my baby.
She goes, "This is her livelihood here. It's not mine. I have Pinkies and Vanderpump Cocktail Garden, but this is all Natalie has. Look at her over there, Marcus." And she goes, "She busted your asses completely, Venus. You both did those novelty shots. And then she saw you dip your cups into the sangria. She's horrified." And she goes, "I don't like the idea of you being drunk as skunks serving my patrons." She goes, "What would you do? Go up to them drunk and say, 'Oh, sorry, I forgot your order. I had a shot.'"
She almost acted like it was like a hazard, like operating heavy equipment or something. She's like, they need a drink and you're just moseying over to get it, moseying back. I need you doing it as fast as possible.
As if this has never happened in the restaurant industry, or specifically at her place, at her establishment.
Yeah.
And she's fired up.
Yeah.
Give it to Lisa. She's pissed as hell at Marcus.
Yeah, she's
and
like,
Venus.
we had 4 restaurants on this block closed last week. It's survival of the fittest. I'm not fucking around.
Yeah, it's dire times for the West Hollywood restaurant industry after COVID. And she goes, get your shit. She goes, get that shit-eating grin off your face and get your shit and go home, Marcus. I don't want to see you for a little while. And then Marcus doesn't say one thing back. I don't know if they edited out his response, but he just grabs his backpack and he goes, and he gets followed out like it's a documentary, like you said. And they go, how do you feel? And he goes, I drank and I got caught. What can you say?
Right. And Venus is like, I literally never drink at work, and the one time I do, I get caught. God damn it. And then we get our first Sir Alley. They go over to a bench on the side, like by the metered parking, not
New generation.
Yeah, they're not messing with those nasty flea-infested chairs stacked in the back.
No, they're like, we're a bench group.
Yes. So it's Venus, Natalie, Audrey, and Kim. And they're sort of just like goofing. Kim is saying she's setting the stage that she's sick of Marcus, that he's a loser for having gotten in trouble for this, and that he'll see if I walk away, he'll see what he's missing.
And maybe alluding to how drunk Marcus might gift. Like, this is a pattern with him. And I kind of believe Venus, where I was like, I think he was doing a celebratory shot because they were filming, like, to start the episode. But he does seem like responsible. Like, I don't know, maybe he did, or maybe he does drink or whatever. But I kind of felt when he was like, oh my God, I can't believe I got busted. But Kim is using this because her and Marcus are in a fraught place already, where she's like, I hope he learns his lesson. From this. But I don't think Kim and Marcus are long for this world,
Right. Yeah, it appears so. And then next time we'll get Audrey's birthday and a Marcus and Kim, or I think Marcus has to have a meeting with Lisa.
He cries.
And he cries, like James style. So
major tears. I mean, it's so like 6 or 7 full tears coming out of his eyes. And then Natalie and Kim go back in the ring to fight about who likes Marcus more, or because Natalie has a reputation for possibly stealing boyfriends after what happened with Paolo. So Kim is potentially jealous that Natalie wants Marcus someday,
Yeah. Kind of strange that Paolo didn't sign the release.
I know. He's like, I am professional and I'm beholden to this restaurant empire, and I don't want my face to appear on camera. I'd sign the release if I was already in the restaurant. If they were filming a TV show at my restaurant and they didn't want me, they were like, we hate you, but will you just be in the background? I'd be like, sure.
Despite having a podcast, I did not do any due diligence and search for a Sir Paulo just to see who it was. But, I wonder if he still works there.
That's it. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, maybe we'll go someday to this Sir establishment, and maybe we'll see these people called Paolo and Kim and everything.
Right. Well, I was wondering, the last few times we've gone, they have a doorman who looks just like Peter, but older. And so I was wondering if it was him, because I'm like, who else is in their 50s working there?
That's a good way to do it. Could be, what if we're the sleuths? What if this is breaking news? People are like, it's a big internet mystery. And we're, because we get to watch this ahead of time. I don't want to brag. I bet he's tagged in one of these photos if we went on the Sir Rules Instagram for long enough.
Yeah. I do see someone that has a private account, so that doesn't help us.
Oh,
but
Guillermo dressed up like the old man from Up.
Are you serious?
Yeah, him and Natalie. Natalie did
God, what is in the air?
Natalie did the little boy from Up with the propeller on his head, and he did that man from Up. My dear friend Paulo has been in a terrible motorcycle accident.
Oh no.
Said Guillermo. And he's now fighting for his life.
Are you serious?
Yes, I would never joke about this. Could you imagine if I was starting some horrible... Look, I swear this is on the Sir. He goes, my dear friend Paulo, what are the odds? It has to be the Paulo that we're thinking of.
Yeah.
He goes, my dear friend Paulo has been in a terrible accident on October 1st. And then Chris and Dodie said, "Love you, Paulo. I'm praying. I hope he's okay." No, they
Oh
would have
my
said.
God.
They would have said in memory. They would have. Yeah, I'm sure he's. Oh my God! I can't. Why did I have to look up horrible news? Oh my God! I'm sure he's. Of course he's fine. They would have said.
Wow. Prayers for Paulo. Damn.
I gotta get on this Sir Rules Instagram longer. Chef Nico is doing a tutorial of how they make the famous bolognese sauce at Sir, and he's doing a full sort of tutorial on every ingredient that goes into this thing.
Wow. I got to check that out. Yeah. This guy that is tagged is the same one I found, and his bio on Instagram is living the dream, Los Angeles, California.
Oh my God, we need to get an update because he never posted again.
Damn.
So Guillermo needs to say, "Hey, thank you for your well wishes." He's doing
seriously.
much better now. All right. Well, I'm sorry to end on sort of bad news for Paulo, but at least we sort of got to the bottom of a kind of internal mystery that we were having.
Yeah, go check out this bolognese video as well. But yeah, I don't know. I am hopeful. Well, I don't know if I'd say I'm hopeful. I'm keeping my heart and mind open.
Me too. And I liked it more talking to you about it and being like, what am I talking? Who cares? Why do I just have high standards for Vanderpump Rules, but I want to do what you said. One eye closed. That's Vanderpump, the era that I love that we recap on Patreon every week. My cherished era. This is a new show called New Shift that happens to have a lot of similar energy. Right. It's a reboot. But what I am excited is that you and I just got a new source of juice for Turtle Time. We're going to dissect the shit out of this thing. Hopefully people who loved us for recapping original Vanderpump Rules maybe want to join us as we recap this full season. But let's you and I go kind of collect our thoughts, take a little minute to ourselves, possibly, take a break, whether it be a certified turtle piss or not. And then we're going to come back and recap this week's Salt Lake City, which I have high hopes for potentially. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Well, Ken Burns' wig must be spinning around on his head.
Are you accusing Ken Burns of wearing a wig like Zach Wickham?
No. It sounds exactly like what I meant, but I meant if he was wearing one of those founders' wigs, big powdery wigs to reenact sort of the American Revolution, that would be spinning. Ken Burns does not wear a wig. I've seen his hair, and it looks natural and fully on his head. But don't you think he would love this episode?
Yeah, this timing couldn't be better for him.
That's what. It's huge. Ken Burns is, American Revolution is getting every single corner of pop culture, and they timed it perfectly with this Salt Lake City sort of synergy here. Remember when they dressed up like monsters and zombies? And I go, holy shit. It was Halloween 4 days later or before. And I'm like, they're getting this 9 months on the calendar in advance. And now we got a full kind of reenactment of the famous Boston Tea Party in 1773.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. Oh my God. Well, we'll get into it. This episode was called First Amendment Rights and Wrongs. Kind of a fun title. You don't think about titles like that.
They really put a twist on it. But yeah, it's this episode had some fun little tidbits all leading up to Bronwyn throwing a Boston Spill the Tea party to commemorate her getting her citizenship. She didn't say exactly how close she was to getting it or if she had taken the test or anything like that, but I'm sure they'll show her celebrating.
She was basically given the test in her confessional, and she was acing it. You remember when they were like, what is the Bill of Rights? And she was like, it was a bill. And but you're right. I mean, great tie-in to whatever this was. And then you kind of have to, with a grain of salt, you have to say, does spilling tea in the harbor provide resolution to make a new constitution? It's like it never works, but actually this did sort of work in a way. Spilling all that tea into the ocean as an act of protest did sort of build towards a new constitution for the group. So sort of best case scenario, right? if you're doing a Boston Tea Party reenactment.
Yeah, I kind of want to do something like this. I liked how she put it together. She spared no expense. I was
Yeah.
a little confused at first why they were at a
Hmm.
loading dock, but it looked like maybe
Yeah.
it was a filming space of some kind, and it had some cool props, and it looked nice.
Yeah, it really did. They said it looked like Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland. She was gilding the lily a little bit, if that's the correct phrase, of where she was really trying to. She talked about like amendments and Constitution protests like 500 times, to like really like sell it. Like she said the exact same. Like she was really trying to justify the what this means for Salt Lake City, but. Fine. If we
Yeah.
get a Boston Tea Party reenactment that looks like that, I'll take it.
Yeah,
So I thought this was fun. Sorry, fun episode.
she's like, I spent like 10 grand on this Constitution dress, so I have to make something around it.
Totally. All right. We start this episode with a familiar scene. Todd standing at the baggage claim, waiting for his big duffel bag. And then Bronwyn comes down an escalator dressed like the sloth from Zootopia 2.
Yeah, he liked this.
This is when that sort of what do you call that gruff sort of frown turns upwards and gives him that little knowing smirk, like he likes Bronwyn when she does this. But I wanted to ask you, we took this for granted last year. I was like, oh, quirky fun. But now I'm like, what does it mean?
Yeah, she really has to go out of her way to give him a smile or to get him to smile. Like, it's kind of a lot of effort just because he's always so grouchy. She has to do a whole song and dance every time just to get him to crack a smile.
I'd be faking that smile because I'd be like, I think my wife is going to dress up in a big inflatable animal costume. I mean, it's like probably.
He has a kink for it.
Does he like it that much? I was just like, it's so quirky now that it kind of lost. It was kind of like when they were talking about the FART at the end, where it's like you see it too many times and it starts to lose its steam a little bit,
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I was a little bit over it, but you're right. Todd was kind of laughing like a maniac.
Did you like when she was like, how was your flight? What'd you do? And he was like, I watched some things that I had downloaded. And she was like,
Yeah.
Like what?
Totally. Yeah, because you have to question Todd's behavior. It's like, what movie did you watch and what book did you read? Because we know what he likes to do on planes is look at women in lingerie.
He just has hundreds of downloaded photos of vintage lingerie catalogs from like the microfiche at the library.
Totally. Oh my God. I couldn't even imagine. Could you imagine if you got access to some of those old microfiche with
It's like the fucking like 1920s newspaper. It's like, got about 20 cents. And he's like jerking off in the bathroom.
Totally. I can't even, I mean, I'm trying to picture it now, but it's probably very similar to something like that from the library and then having to masturbate. But then Bronwyn goes, I did what you go, she goes, thanks for detailing exactly how your time was spent on the plane. But I got to tell you, I got into deep shit with my friends. And he goes, I knew it. I'm gruff and I'm always pessimistic. And he goes, did you, what? And she goes, I stepped in big pile of shit with Meredith because I told Whitney, I told Meredith what Whitney said about her being a pill popper. And Todd goes, you all need to forgive each other because you've all said horrible stuff about each other.
Yeah. I know that this is a perpetual housewife, just we all play dumb, but the fact that people get mad that someone told someone else something that they said on camera is like truly so foolish.
It is. It really is. It's so ridiculous that we allow that as a pretense for even 1 second. But Whitney she holds on to it. She's like, I'm not going to release my tea into the harbor until you admit that this private conversation was, released. But anyway, and then Bronwyn goes, but the perfect thing would be a Boston Tea Massacre or Boston Tea Party. And then Todd goes, they hung traitors back then. And then they have a little bit of a laugh at the sort of.
They covered tar and feathering on American Revolution Part 2, and it sounds horrible.
Oh, it's awful. Oh, they show it in John Adams. He goes, Sam, do you agree to this? Sam! And Sam goes, people must be tarred and feathered sometimes. And it's supposed to be like John Adams thinks there's limits to, what revolution can do.
Jimmy was trying to be like, it's not a big deal. Like, They're
Yeah.
tarred and feathered, like whatever. They're like, it's like more about embarrassment. I was like, no, it's like scalding tar. Like you probably get so fucked up from that.
Totally, but I do think that they tempered it. They added a little. The temperature of the tar was up
They
to
put
the.
ice in there.
Yeah. Some people didn't get the full scalding boils from hot tar. I think some people got lukewarm tar, and then the worst part is that when you look like a big tarred and feathered chicken, they start doing the chicken squawk as you walk down the town.
Have you, I don't know if you were a real beach bum, but do you ever get tar on your foot at the beach? Has that happened to you?
No, where do you? No, absolutely not. I've never gotten tar once on my foot from the beach.
Because there's like oil
Oh,
at the beach, and sometimes there'll be tar on your foot, and it's gross.
Oh my God, no! I've never even come close to being in any way. I don't.
Maybe
I don't
those
think,
are just nasty ass LA beaches. I don't know.
yeah, I've been to the tar pits.
I don't think. Well, I mean, I've been to like that LACMA area, but I don't think I've been to like the museum.
That's one of the first things I did. I lived in. I think I've told you. I lived in Park La Brea for 8 months, and then I would go visit the big woolly mammoth that was covered in tar and feathered. Yeah. Oh, is it gone?
No, rip that he died.
Oh,
like
of
that.
course. Oh, it's so sad. Oh, yeah, because it's like his worst nightmare to be sort of out in the open like that. Okay, next up, Whitney and Justin. I'll give Whitney credit for this. She's making business her like one of her huge storylines, her failing business. Not a lot of people would have the bravery and the could relinquish their ego to be like, I made a big mistake business wise and I blew it. And
are you surprised they didn't do this earlier? Because this was sort of we've been talking about this failure all season, so I'm kind of surprised that they didn't have this conversation sooner.
Could have been wedged. It could have happened earlier. You know, I don't.
Okay.
There was nothing tied to time. You know, like maybe this was the first or second scene they had, and they were just like, "Sorry, it's taking forever. We got to wedge this thing in."
Right? Was that their house with that view, or do they have like a beach house or something? Like, or I don't know. It looked like somewhere else. It looked lovely.
Megan once told me, and I'll never forget it, and I'll never verify it, but that Whitney has a fake home with Justin that they just film in because she doesn't want anybody to know her home. So I don't know if we're ever seeing their true home. But Whitney really gives Justin she really tells him what he did wrong. She goes, Wild Rose Beauty was so close to being in a Sephora store. I was about to get a call from the buyer, and you made my thing a shitty MLM. Whatever that means, multi-level marketing.
A scheme
company.
that Todd cracked up.
Yeah.
Why can I never remember what it is? Cooked up?
I don't know. I got sent that a couple times, but I still don't. I don't remember the exact wording. A scheme that Todd set up. Yeah, but Justin, he goes, you never gave a shit about Wild Rose Beauty when it was my baby. And then all of a sudden you got a whiff of MLM and you put your nose up in the air and started getting a huge whiff. And then that's when you said you wanted to take a real bite out of it. And you took a stab at it. And Whitney was like, if I would have followed my intuition, I would have maintained myself as a business that sells to stores.
Right. Yeah. She continues to say that she trusted him blindly and made it a new entity. And she's like, the second that I made it this new entity with the MLM, I met the Sephora buyer and I was like, I should have fucking taken that deal. And it's honestly, I don't even know how you survive this because it's so embarrassing. Like, he was like, trust me, I know exactly what to do. And then it was the biggest flop of the century. And she's like fighting to get her brand back, which I feel like that's like business 101 of like, hold on to your IP or whatever. Like you never sign that away unless it's $1 billion or something. Like,
right.
I don't know.
Unless you're George Lucas selling Star Wars to Disney, like where they fully own the IP. But no, you always keep that little nut for yourself where you get to profit off that. So Justin completely blew it. And he had dollar signs in his eyes. I don't know why she trusts Justin with business stuff. I mean, can we get the backstory on that? What the hell was he thinking? And remember what they called it? It was like it became a completely different brand. And she started selling like package it. Like, I don't know what the hell she did. It was awful, a horrible decision all around. And Justin's not that contrite here. He's kind of like, sorry, I blew it big time.
Oopsies.
Yeah. And then she goes, it's hard not to think of this as like, if she used this to justify divorcing Justin, I wouldn't be surprised. I think she's always had one foot out the door with Justin. But I think that she was like, she could use this potentially to be like, you kind of, because she said our business was tied with our marriage. So now a decision like this makes me think about everything else. She's pretty honest in the confessional about how I forget what she says. She says, I feel resentment towards you for taking away my baby.
Totally say that they were headed towards divorce. But when we saw them at BravoCon, they were pretty warm and fuzzy.
You're right. I got to take my firsthand experience into account and not just talk about it on podcasting. We saw them and they were cartoonishly in love, kissing. If they would have had the Lady and the Tramp pasta in front of them, they would have been kissing like that with pasta between their lips. And she was sitting on his lap for an hour. No couples still do that.
I know. I was like, that's honestly a slay. I love that for you guys in the smoking section. They're keeping it cool.
Maybe he did good business after.
Yeah. Maybe they brokered a deal that night in Vegas with a chip. He flicked a poker chip as their first investment.
Totally. But she's honest. She goes, Justin, that was horrible. And she doesn't let him off the hook, So we're kind of TBD on that one. What did you think about this Heather bed party? I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
Have you seen this concept?
I'm not privy to college admittance culture, but her relationship with her daughters is very sweet. They seem like they love her a lot, and I'm happy for her. And I love that she's sort of just proud and relieved that her daughters have made it to college. She's not like mourning they're moving on, or she's not making them feel bad. She's like, hell yeah, like, which is refreshing, because I feel like you're always like, it's always parents being like, oh, it's over, it's horrible, and she's like, this is awesome.
Yeah, like Bronwyn. Bronwyn's on the other end of that one. And she's like, this is horrible. This is a nightmare. And Heather's like, I can't wait to have my Wayfair office all to my self. But I've never seen this before, but it was really fun to honor. They're going to Tampa, that kid. Tampa.
Both daughters in Florida.
Yeah. Tampa's so close to where I grew up, 45 minutes away.
Wow. Cool
An
campus.
hour and 15. What did you say?
Is it a cool campus?
It's it's really, really, really good. Bronwyn. Okay, next up, Bronwyn making invitations. First of all, they started taking down pride flags at the government building. So Bronwyn did an initiative with Muzzy about saying any business, if you want a pride flag, you can get one. And then it turns into a sort of bonding scene with Muzzy after they have that initial plan together to sort of be a part of Bronwyn's life. Then it gets a little deep between Muzzy and Bronwyn. How did you feel about this?
Yeah. It was nice. I'm glad Muzzy came through in the end emotionally. I did think it was a little weird that they just skated over that presumably Muzzy is anti-LGBT.
Right. Yeah.
They're like, why are you doing this with her? It's kind of weird. But yeah, I guess forcing her to help people fly pride flags is a plus.
Yeah. And it's, it's her mom. It's like, it's easy for us to, as the audience be like, why the hell would you be talking to your mom and like skate over that? But, she still seeks approval from her mom, for whatever reason. And she gets it from Muzzy big time in this scene. Muzzy finally says, I'm very proud of you. Gwen is the best thing you ever did. You made her well-rounded. And I was harsh and cold. Those weren't her words, but whatever she was, not loving.
She doesn't know how to express herself. And she said something to the effect of, you didn't get what you needed from me, so you corrected that for Gwen, and that is for the best. And I'm like, okay, like that's actually pretty thoughtful to say, like, essentially she broke the cycle of, because Muzzy was like, my parents were mean too.
Just like Gilmore Girls. Emily Gilmore, she was not a big hugger, and she didn't give a lot of compliments to Lorelai, but then Lorelai did the opposite, as everyone knows, with Rory, famously in the Gilmore Girls. And then Muzzie's crying. They have a very endearing moment where Bronwyn, you see the compliment register so deeply and emotionally, hearing sweet words from her mom. And then Muzzie said, I would give you a hug, but you don't like hugs at all. And you pass that on to Gwen. And Bronwyn admits that she's prickly like a hedgehog.
Yes.
So interesting. Bronwyn's not a hugger. She loves this emotional moment with her mom, but she doesn't want to be hugged. And then Muzzie says something about how Bronwyn made a horrible spreadsheet, and they laugh about it.
Yes. No, that must have been a lot of work. She said that she did a call out to anyone who wanted a pride flag. Basically, she would send them one. I'm like, was it via DM? I mean, she probably has an assistant that had to transcribe it from DM to spreadsheet, but I was immediately thinking how much work that is.
Or Todd.
Oh, yeah. He probably has some crazy algorithm where it's like
totally
typing in the Hewlett Packard
thing. I would ask, totally. You just said it. HP, he's probably like algorithm to have businesses get pride flags. He's so sort of technological. And I wonder what he thinks about AI.
Probably not anything that I would like.
Really? You think he's happy?
He's like, AI is awesome. It helps me find Starbucks mugs.
Damn. All right. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I'd be interested to see if he's like, no, I don't like AI. It's bad for Hewlett Packard.
Did you see that Guillermo del Toro keeps ending his speeches with "fuck AI"?
Totally. Yep.
Love that for him.
Yeah. He said, my best friend is James Cameron. He said that. And then he said, I also don't like AI. And then apparently James Cameron, if you go see Avatar Fire and Ash, over the next couple of days, which everybody should. We got to get this thing to $1 billion. He says no AI was used in this film, not even for 1 second, not even for one Navi.
Like there's a disclaimer or something?
Yeah. I think he said he does a Tom Cruise greeting the audience, and he goes, just so you know, I don't like AI at all.
I love it. He got into that a little bit on the town thing, and he was saying that he knows a lot about it and that he is quite concerned about artificial intelligence, not just like from the artist's perspective, but like for like humanity.
Yeah. And
he's got a lot of like, what do you call that? Irons in the fire, fingers in pots.
Pies, too.
Pies. Where he's like, he's vegan because he's worried about climate change. He's worried about, he knows like about everything.
Yeah.
I want to have him on any board that I am on. He knows how stuff works.
And, oh my God. And think about this guy's track record with films. Titanic.
Yeah.
People said this thing is going to this is going to sink like the Titanic at the box office. It didn't, the opposite of sink. And then Avatar, people said, what are these horrible blue monsters in space? And it ended up making him $2 billion. Did you know that they're concluding this might be the end of Fire and Ash? Matt Bellany told him. He goes, if this doesn't make money and we don't recoup, I'm done with Avatar.
It's going to keep going. It's going to make so much money. I mean, I don't know what the hopes are on if it will top the last one, but I liked, he was also talking about, because Elon Musk came up and he was talking about Mars and how they were like, are we going to go to Mars? And he was like, Mars sucks.
Yeah. He
was like, it's a dirt shit planet. Why are we even wasting our time? We live on this like gorgeous water green planet. What the fuck are you talking about?
He was like, and I was a Mars head like him 20 years ago. I did all the research on Mars, and it sucks.
The calculations are in. Mars blows ass.
And it looks like it sucks. No offense to people who
why would we want to go there? It's literally not viable.
Unless we terraform it, which I'm really interested in. It's when you put a bunch of cloud seeds up into the sky. But for now, let's focus on Earth. Planet Earth, which is where this Salt Lake City episode takes place. Angie arrives to the tea party dressed like Betsy Ross with an American flag, and it's at a warehouse, and she's the first one, and she's like, where the hell am I? And then we learn that everybody else is dressed in different sort of 1773 outfits, like in the Hamilton era.
Except Lisa. She won't do it.
No, Lisa. Well, I was glad she wore a powdered wig, but I was disappointed that she didn't want to play. But then we have to talk about this really quickly. Whitney and Brittany and Heather are in the same car, and I was getting very annoyed with Whitney and Heather because Brittany goes, "Yeah, I met at the park with Meredith, and she apologized," and they were like, "Oh, so she apologized for verbally attacking you?" And they were like, and Brittany was like, "No, not that." And then they were like, "So what did she apologize for?" And they were clearly trying to ramp her up again against Meredith to keep the plane gate going because they don't want Brittany to have a friendship with Meredith. It's in their interest to keep this wedge there. And I felt like Heather was doing it just as much as Whitney, being like, she goes, so you just forgive her and you're friends now? Very dismissively to Brittany, like, keep it up. You got to
Right.
keep, you know what I mean? Which I thought that I liked the scene with Meredith and Brittany. I felt like it took a lot for Meredith to apologize to Brittany about the plane stuff she did.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to get to the bottom of this thing until they potentially release the tape. It's
Yeah.
like not even worth talking about because Meredith will not give an inch. We'll get to it. You know, they really want her to admit again, but everyone still stands very firm. Like even Mary, you
No,
know.
but remember, I mean, Heather was asleep. No, I'm saying no. I agree with you completely, but I'm like personally tired of playing
Sure.
gate until we see the evidence of Meredith.
Yeah, this is like the third week in a row.
Yeah.
So yeah, they all go in. Bronwyn provides wigs for all. There's this amazing set. She tries to tie it all in, saying, you know, the Boston Tea Party drama was about taxation without representation, and a lot of us feel like we are misrepresented here in this group. So let's represent ourselves and spill the tea and leave it behind. And she has food and drinks, and Mary joins, and she's like, "There are hot dogs," and she's like, "Do hot dogs go that far back? Are hot dogs BC?"
That was so cool. And they do. I looked it up. They were early BC, and
It's
they're
like
J dogs.
Mesopotamian.
Yeah, and they're J dogs. Did you
What is
think about
that?
what J dogs? Oh, I looked it up. Utah-based restaurant chain called J Dogs. They have a proprietary sweet and tangy sauce, and they do that patented crisscross cut to
Wow.
get the cut or burn all through it. So I was like, I'm glad I looked up J Dogs. I would have never known what that was, but it's a local
No.
thing.
They could get that and then like scissor Slurpees, whatever. What's that place called?
Oh,
The
big
soda
big
slurpers.
soda slurp. Yeah, the big soda slurper. What's that? Big soda store.
Like sippies.
Big soda store
Straw.
in Utah. It's so funny to me. No offense to our Mormon listeners, but it's so funny to me that to be like, you know, we can't. Oh, no, sorry, this isn't funny. I just mean it's interesting to me to be like, we can't have coffee.
Soda culture.
We can't have coffee, but we're allowed to go nuts at the soda store. Syrup and extra ice and Coke and Fanta. It's like, why would that? Like, you're just exploiting a loophole. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
always.
Like, obviously, obviously, they didn't want you to be sipping a bunch of sodas if you can't have coffee.
Swig. It's called
Swig
swig.
is what it's called. I don't know if we have a huge Mormon contingent, especially on Patreon, but wouldn't that be sort of in your own head? Wouldn't that be the kernel that sort of exposes some hypocrisy that you're allowed to
Right.
go nuts on a big soda stream?
Well, it's like how, like on the Jewish, on the Sabbath and stuff, they're like, we can't turn the lights on, but I can't stop someone else from turning the lights on.
Yeah.
Like everyone has little workarounds.
Yeah, stuff like that. So, just if you think about that kind of stuff. Then they test their knowledge. We already went through this. 100 senators.
Right.
Brittany did okay. Bronwyn aced it because I think she's taking the citizen test. And then Bronwyn goes, "Look behind your chairs. There's huge, big burlap sacks of tea. Write someone's name on it and tell the time that you spilled tea on them, and then we'll wash the tea away in this ocean." And this was a fun Angie one. Angie's always so good at when whatever is necessary here. She goes, "I have spilled tea upon Lisa because of her horse announcement that we haven't heard up to this point." And Lisa said, "I went to the Kentucky Derby and I bought a horse. And then it's kind of like she was like, no further questions.
Yeah, which I do need more info because those horses are worth like $100 million or something. Like,
yeah.
what are you talking about?
Yeah, I wish you wouldn't have said it. We've all been there when you're sort of holding court and you make announcements like you bought a horse. But I was like, did you really mean to say that?
We all know what happened in The Godfather after you brag about having a high body count horse.
I'm glad you said something, because when Robert Duvall's character goes there and he finds out how much Waltz loved that horse, that ends up the head.
I
in his
was
bed.
unaware of his game. What's that character's name?
God, Robert Duvall's character in The Godfather.
That's good trivia.
Robert Duvall. I have to look it up because people would be screaming right now if we don't get it. Of course, his name is. Oh my God, I can't find it for the life of me. Tom Hagen, of course.
Right.
Tom Hagen. He goes.
They establish early that he doesn't fuck around when it comes to the family.
No, he goes. Mr. Waltz, I can't eat the rest of your dinner. The Godfather likes to have bad news delivered to him immediately, so he pushes his plate away. And kind of a crazy thing for the Godfather to do.
I just saw it at the Egyptian the other night, so it's fresh on my mind.
My favorite. My favorite movie. One of my favorite movies. Top 4 for sure. And then Lisa goes, she goes, stop talking about my horses. I am even looking into getting another horse, 2 horses. And Angie goes, what would you do with 2 horses? And she goes, it's nobody's business what I would do with 2 horses. Like, well, I think it's a legitimate question. What would you do? I mean, of course, people can have as many horses as they want, but what is she going to do with 2? Like,
why is she being shifty about it?
Yeah, it's like you can explain, and I think she got caught in a lie. I don't like to think that Lisa lies about her wealth, but if you say you got a horse, people are going to ask some questions. Right. I would even ask questions, and even if I believe you.
Yeah, or just say like you partially own a horse, like you own a tenth of a horse.
Yeah, she goes, it's nobody's business what I would do with 2 horses. And then Angie goes, well, mission or case closed. I'll spill the tea in the ocean. And then Brittany goes, who told everyone about me possibly kissing Joao, because what's his name? Jared Osmond knew about it. And then Whitney finally admits easily that she was really telling Justin about all of the flirting that happened on the boat. So Justin probably told Jared.
Right. I didn't know they were in communication like that. And then Heather, I almost like am confused about what the T prompt was. It's basically just like you have one more chance to air a piece of news that you want to bring up again, and then you're not supposed to bring it up anymore. And Heather goes, I got to get in this Todd making out and farting storyline. And Bronwyn's like, all right, pack it up. You said it. Next.
Yeah.
Toss it in the sea, not talking about it. And Heather's like, you don't think it's just a little funny? And she's like, no.
Yeah. That was Heather was doing a big favor for the audience by bringing up make out fart gate again one last time. But Bronwyn, you should have seen, everyone saw her face. She was really mad. And then, at it being brought up. And then Heather threw over the tea. I think they should have done a big fart noise when she threw it over. Like, this is the end of... Yeah, like this is the end of it. And then Bronwyn did a different strategy. She goes,
that's why I was confused.
She goes, I apologize for tea I spilled. Whitney, I apologize for telling Meredith about the pill popper stuff. It's like, you shouldn't make everybody have to reveal their secrets, spilling secrets, and then you get to apologize for tea. That's completely unfair to everyone else. And then Whitney uses this to get mad at Bronwyn, because she's like, you're bringing up right now in front of Meredith that I called her an alcoholic and a pill popper, and Meredith is fuming. Steam is coming out of her ears. You know what I mean? Like across the way. And then this is when Whitney and Meredith have a major fight, a fight that lasts for about 5 to 10 minutes. Whitney goes, that was a private conversation, like we already talked about. And then Meredith goes, those are damaging lies. There's stuff like this. Those are damaging lies. And then Whitney goes, I hate being called a liar. I've never lied in my life, much like George Washington. And I said to myself, I can think of 2 lies off the bat that Whitney has told instantly without even rewatching Salt Lake City.
I
The
thought
lie
you were
about
gonna say lies that George Washington has told. I was like, go off.
Don't get me started. George Washington's lies. Let's do a separate Patreon episode about that. No, Whitney lied about Heather not giving her the galleys to her book, and she was offended by what Heather ended up writing. Heather exposed the shit out of that lie on camera about how she did tell Whitney exactly what she was going to say. And then Whitney lied about Lisa not giving her flowers or being sympathetic to her when her friend died. A huge lie. And that was just 2. I didn't look up Whitney's lies for very long. But I'm just saying, like, that's so ridiculous to say you're not a liar at all, and I can pinpoint 2 immediately.
Right. And then they just are really getting into it. They're not agreeing. Whitney calls Meredith a belligerent woman regarding what went down on the plane, and says again that there were witnesses. And she goes, well, while we're calling each other outrageous things, I'm going to call you alcoholic and pill popper. And Meredith gets up and she's like, well, speaking of, I have gifts for everyone. And she has these little packs that she brought that I think maybe there was caviar. But as well as caviar, there were drug tests.
They made it seem like the drug test needed to be on ice for some reason.
I know.
They go, it's so cold.
I know. I was like, some medications need to be on ice, but I don't think drug tests need to be on ice.
Maybe it's because if you use the toilet in it, it needs to keep your urine or whatever you put into it at a certain temperature. So it has little ice cubes or what's that stuff that always remains frozen, like for a long time? Dry ice.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how highbrow she went with the kit, but she stopped somewhere and got those. And at first I was like, honestly, that's pretty funny. Like, that's stunty. But then it kind of fizzled. Like, it didn't really go anywhere.
Because she really only wants Whitney to do it. It's like no one else is going to actually do it. She goes, when he goes, you want me to pull off my skirt and piss in this thing? And it's like, once you don't do that, it's kind of over for everyone. And then Whitney goes, I cherish you and love you so much. You don't want to hear this because of my deep love for you, Meredith, which is ridiculous. She goes, and also this hits home for me because of my personal experience with it. And then that's kind of a little bit too much for Lisa and Meredith. They're like, Lisa's like, you're weaponizing your personal experience against Meredith, which we talked about last week, like making it seem so much deeper and personal, like this is a huge issue that Meredith is struggling with and needs help, which I don't really believe that to be the case. I think she took 1 Xanny bar, a couple glasses of wine, or maybe an Ambien what are those called? Ambien freakouts?
She did say here, she goes, everyone knows I enjoy an occasional drink and sometimes a Valium.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I thought she said a gummy, but maybe she said Valium.
I thought she said Valium.
Huh. Maybe my edit said, no, I think mine. Yeah, you're right. I think she said Valium.
I mean, Meredith is a tall drink of water. She's pretty thin. She has like 3 glasses of wine and a Valium. That could do it.
Oh, she's out like a light. We'll never get to the bottom of when Meredith was barfing and crying that one night a year ago. She does do stuff,
or when she was like stumbling off the bus and everyone was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, she could. We don't know. I mean, we don't know what she's doing, in her personal life. But I don't think it's to the degree to which Whitney is accusing her of. And then Heather kind of gets on her sort of soapbox and makes this very personal for her, starts to cry about how Meredith is gaslighting her. And I was like, I need to see that plane chart again of where you were, Heather. And I need to remember what you said, that you watched 20 minutes of a movie and you were asleep for 6 hours, but whatever. She goes, you're gaslighting me just like the Mormon church. And I won't be gaslit anymore. And it upsets me deeply that I have been such a loyal friend. And I'm like, I don't know. You've got a grudge against Meredith and Lisa this season. You guys are center snowflake holders for way too long, and you're coming for the top spot, and you want Whitney with you as an ally to go through the shit to get to that center diamond. So I don't really trust Heather's intentions with Meredith very much.
by the way, I randomly downloaded Heather's book on Audible, and I've been like half-ass listening to it, and I'm just amazed. Her mission location was the south of France.
I know.
I'm like, hell yeah.
I read that one. It was awesome. She goes, it was so fun. Did you get to the part of their honeymoon yet?
No, she's still on her mission, I think, for me.
Oh my God. Wait till they talk about their night of passion.
I heard her talk about picking out her garments and stuff and how she got in trouble for wearing a black bra to her ceremony.
I thought the ceremony stuff was really interesting. Like what it entails and everything. Oh my God. Wait till you get to this night with her new husband.
Great.
Then, okay. Mary's wearing a girdle. Meredith goes, no resolution today. Heather, stop crying. We're not going to get anywhere. We don't agree. And then Bronwyn goes, well, I have a pleasant surprise for you all. We're going to all use these quills. And much like John Hancock, we're going to sign this document and create new rules for us as friends. Did you like that part?
Yes, the new amendments, which some of these, I'm like, I think these were in the Constitution of Housewives already. Families off limits, business, marriage, children off limits. I'm like, that's in the Constitution. We've been hearing about that forever. I would say the amendment should be, they should be on the table.
Who should? Wait, sorry, who should?
Families, businesses, children.
Yeah, I almost agree with you completely. You know, I think we talked about it where it's like children. You talked about my children. Like children are not. You don't want to say. You know, I think I would actually say probably under 18. You don't want to say too much about them.
Keep the emoji on the face.
Yeah, totally. But businesses though, like if you want to, like you got to talk about businesses. Like if you had a big flop, weird business, and you want to say you did a weird bit that. Like, Whitney, that MLM shit was really weird. And the Alibaba stuff. Like, she only said no business because she doesn't want Alibaba brought up. Businesses are on the table.
Mary's
and that's
church.
That's the Turtle Time Constitution.
It's like the best example ever that I would put in the Constitution is Ramona saying that Kodak is an antiquated brand.
Totally.
That was like the first like business deal squandered by a fellow housewife being a bitch.
Yes, and it's hurtful. And I understand if Jill pushed back and hated Ramona for the rest of her life, but I think it should be a tool, a tool that's allowed to be utilized if you really want to burn a bridge with someone you hate. You talk about a business. It's there's degrees. And then Meredith ends. I don't know. Some of the other ones were okay.
Yeah,
but then she goes, "Stop the reactive abuse, you all," and it kind of brings them back to a moment of conflict. And they look it up, and I didn't look it up again, but it was like when you react to abuse that you've suffered.
Yeah, it was very specific. She really thought she ate with that one. I was like, okay. And then I can't believe it. Next week is Grease.
I can't believe it either. Oh my God. Angie is going to be rolling around. If only it had timed in sync with when Christopher Nolan was filming The Odyssey in Greece. Could you imagine Matt Damon in that Spartan outfit and he's on the beaches of Greece and then all of a sudden Angie says, "Matt, can I take a photo with you?" And Christopher Nolan's like, "I love Salt Lake City. That's my favorite franchise." It could have been so good. But
I wonder, so we have perhaps intel that Martin Scorsese watched Vanderpump Rules.
Mm-hmm.
Which auteur directors do you think watch Bravo that we don't know for sure?
Which auteur directors? Wow, it's going to be random as hell. Yorgos Lanthimos.
I feel like he would like it because he's like, these women are grotesque.
I think so too. He would. Could you imagine if he got Yorgos started on Housewives franchises? That's a good question. Let's posit that to Turtle Time listeners. Which auteurs secretly love, or not even so secretly? Sarah Snook, I saw from Succession. They go, "What's your favorite reality TV show?" And she goes, "Don't get me started, please."
Below Deck.
Yeah, Below Deck. She said.
That's always kind of the safe answer. I feel like people don't think that Below Deck is embarrassing. Like
it's like the gateway too, though, for some people. It's a different branch of the Bravo universe, and I like Below Deck too. But it's like, wait, if you like that, get over here. to this kind of stuff.
Like even my dad watches Below Deck sometimes because it's just the upstairs, downstairs of it all. It's almost like it could be on Travel Channel or HGTV or something.
It's like a House Hunters feel if you wanted. Remember when Ariana Grande shamefully said, I watched 1 or 2 Ronies and I gave up because it was shit. I was like, Ariana Grande.
That actually surprised me. I thought she'd be down like the way Jennifer Lawrence is. I thought that she'd have like a deep well.
I would have, if Ariana Grande was here right now, I'd say you got to get past the first 4 episodes where they don't know what the hell they're doing. And you get to like Bethany on the bridge with Ramona where she's chastising her for not having any friends and no businesses or whatever. And you're like, this is gold. It gets gold. It's like gold so quickly, but you got to get through those initial 3 or 4 episodes.
I know. It's always hard when you're trying to forge a conversation with someone and then it turns out that they don't necessarily watch Bravo, but they say they watch Selling Sunset or like Mormon Wives or something. And you're like, not quite.
Yeah.
You're like, almost, but no.
Yeah. You're like, I don't want to talk about that shit.
You're like, call me back when you've done the work.
Yeah, get over to this beautiful Bravo sanctuary over here. Well, this was a fun, it's not every day you get to see a bunch of people reenacting the Boston Tea Party, and it's called Spill the Tea Party. It's like, you don't get to see this every day. This is fun. This is exactly what I expect from Salt Lake City. Great episode. Wonderful. I'm proud of them all. And you and I'm proud of us. Can I say it?
This is a big day for us. We had to cover a lot of ground. Seriously, though, comment about what you thought about the new Vanderpump, because I have no idea. I was speaking completely blind. The internet hadn't seen it yet when I said my thoughts. So I'm curious, did everyone think it totally sucked ass? Were you pleasantly surprised? Do you think it's going to be worth watching or not? I am very curious.
Me too. Yeah, we're kind of in a silo here. We have no clue what the hell the outside world is thinking about this. So let us know that. And then I want to promote something. Amy and I put our deep hearts and souls into an episode of the Villa Rosa Film Society this month that just debuted on December 1st. It's a movie that you and I both love. And we had a sort of a deep talk about The Family Stone for an hour and a half. I think it was... I love every episode of the Villa Rosa Film Society, but I was proud of this one, of us talking about a movie that's sort of underrated, but it's becoming a cult classic. So if you wanted to sign up for that tier, you get access to all 4 Villa Rosa Film Society episodes that we've done, and we keep churning them out. We've done good. We're 4 for 4. I mean, we haven't given up yet.
Yeah, we'll be posting sometime this month the poll for the January one, and... I don't know. Well, maybe it'll be New Year's themed. We'll talk about it. We haven't decided yet.
I'll spoil one.
Okay.
Do you care?
Go.
I'm going to recommend to our Patreon listeners The Apartment, which is the only good New Year's Eve movie I've ever seen in my life. You can't watch that.
When Harry Met Sally.
Oh, is that New Year's?
Sex and the City movie.
Well,
we're building the list right here.
Quite possibly be our 3. It's pretty good. I think we'll probably end up doing the Sex and the City movie if those were the 3, but we'll think about it for a little bit. But I do want to recommend The Apartment for anybody who hasn't seen it, but maybe we'll talk about that some other time. But anyway, that's that recommendation. The Patreon series is ripping like a big train that's on the tracks. And then please, for the love of God, if you can't support us with money, support us with kind words on Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Yep. Give us a thumbs up. Hype us. They let you hype videos on YouTube now. Hype the shit out of this thing.
Hell yeah. Our most recent review on Apple Pod says, funny. Love this podcast. Amy and Riley are a great duo. Thank you.
It's like, I feel like Ebenezer Scrooge after he gets that 3rd visit when a comment like that comes in. So please review us. Please.
I feel like Jay Kelly thinking about his whole life and whether he lived it right or not.
Oh my God, that is awesome. And I can't wait till I know that sort of allegory of that film.
Yes. Okay, lastly, get your Christmas gift orders in now. I would say try and do it sooner rather than later. The mail gets nuts after like the 2nd week of December. So just do it now. Just browse Etsy. We have so much fun shit on there. A surefire win of a gift. So go over there.
And yeah, and if you know your loved one likes a certain cast member, Bravo cast member, and they open up on Christmas morning Heather Gay on a t-shirt, and they're like, this is fucking awesome. I want to support Heather Gay for the rest of my life. You could be that person that delivers that joy.
Yeah, it's true. Good Good to do it.
Good to do it. That's what they say. All right. We'll talk to you all soon. Very much so. Very soon on Friday. We love you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful time until then.
Goodbye.